So I got some lamb racks today. They already been Frenched. I got them from my neighborhood supermarket. You could find a short lamb rack. Now, it took me a little bit of time to really appreciate lamb. And I think it's because I wasn't getting it cooked correctly. So lamb is actually supposed to be served rare to medium rare. And it's not supposed to taste gamey. That was the other problem I was having with lamb or mutton, you know. So, and just a side note, my nickname growing up was Mutton. Don't ask why and don't tease me about it. But, so back to the lamb, once it's properly cooked, you might start enjoying the flavor and appreciating the lamb. And that was my problem. I said I didn't like lamb at one time, and that was because it wasn't properly presented to me and it didn't complement each other. It still tastes real gamey and it was tough, biting on something that you're pulling your teeth out. So I'm gonna show you how to really properly cook lamb and get some good flavor. And it's very simple, so don't be scared in any way. So what I got here is a lemon pepper grilled lamb rack with a red wine barbecue sauce that we'll go through. So lamb doesn't take long. I'm gonna actually grill it. Before I get started, if you follow me, before I apply any of my seasoning, I usually put some kind of lubrication on it so the rub or seasoning could stick. So I have some grapeseed oil here. And the grapeseed oil I like because it holds a higher heat index when you're cooking with it. So you can actually put this on steaks, anything that you want to sear, because it holds a higher heat index. It's made to cook at like 500, 600 degrees. All I got here is some lemon pepper seasoning. After I put that grapeseed oil on, I'm not going to do too much to the fat. I like the fat on lamb. Lamb could be really lean. So if you take off some of that fat, you're really taking away the protection on the cook. You could really dry it out pretty quickly, in my opinion, anyway. So after I got it nice and seasoned, I am going to let that rest. And I want that seasoning and flavor to really sit into that meat and really dig in. And this is kind of like my marinating technique. I won't do this overnight. Again, I feel like salt will really dry out the meat the longer it sits and starts curing meat. That's what salt is supposed to do, cure meat. So it starts cooking and doing different things to the meat that you won't get if you just do it like right out the refrigerator into the grill. So let that sit there for about 10 or 12 minutes. And while you're doing that, you could go get the fire started on your grill. All right, I got the coals split in half on the grill. So I'm going to start off cooking this on the direct heat side to get some nice char and some nice grill marks on it. Again, with that oil, it's ready for some high heat. I'll do meat side down first and just let that go for about 2 to 3 minutes on both sides. And what you're trying to do is get it to an internal temperature of 120, right? So 125 to 130 is about where you want to bring the lamb to. So if you're not at that temp, by the time you finish both sides to where you want it to be, that's why you set up the indirect side. So that's going to slow the cook down where you're not burning the meat, but it's still cooking at the same time. So we'll leave that there for about 2 minutes and flip. And what I like about lamb, it's not beef. It's a red meat, but when it's cooked properly, it's so tender and it's so good. I like it with some grits, some mashed potatoes. You could do a little gravy with it, and it's very easy to do, and it doesn't really take long. I think a lot of people stay away from it because of the cooking techniques, but I'm gonna make it totally easy for you guys. The fat is starting to render down into that flame. This is where you really don't want to walk away from your flame. You want to make sure you kind of keep it turning so it doesn't start burning on you in some areas, right? But once that fat starts rendering down, you want to stay around. You don't want to really walk away from it. You want to stay kind of close to your grill, because what you'll do is you'll start burning it and then start cooking unevenly. So it's all right if you see a little bit of flame, but kind of redirect the position of your rib or your rack so you're not burning it up. Almost ready for that flip. And now what I'm looking at on the back side, I'm looking at the moisture starting to occur on the back side of that rib. That's meaning that it's starting to cook from the inside out. Look at that nice char. See, that's enough for char. You don't really want it to go too much more than that. Then you start getting a nice bitter taste, or a nasty bitter taste, I should say. I'm cooking for myself and my family, but what a lot of people do, if they want to really get some nice presentation, you can actually individually wrap the bones in aluminum foil, and that will stop it from, like, you know, these blood marks and stuff like that. But again, that doesn't bother me or anybody in my household, so I'm gonna leave it just the way it is. But if I was cooking for a show and I was getting judged, I would probably put a little aluminum foil on it, so protecting that presentation of the bone. As you have them flip, you could start kind of monitoring the temperature. See, I'm still at 70 degrees, and I want to get to 125, 130. So once I leave this for 2 more minutes, I'm gonna move it over to the other side, put my cover on, and wait till it gets to that temp. Also, what I like about cooking with that lump charcoal is it's going to give you that smoky flavor. You didn't see me drop any wood chunks in or anything, so I got that nice charcoal and wood flavor all in one. You're more than happy to just keep it on that one side, but again, I like to slow it down to where I don't have to worry about it burning up on me. So I'm gonna just put it on that side. That heat is still going to cook. So once you put the lid on, it almost creates an oven. So now you're just oven baking these things. It already got the flavor, it's got the char that you want. Now you're just kind of getting it up to temp. This is the forgiving way, right? If you want to keep using it, cooking it over the fire, it's a chance you might burn one side and overcook a certain area and not the other area. This is an even way to, you know, be forgiven that it's all going to be done the same time and the same temperature. Let's check out these lamb racks right here. Woo, they're looking good, looking good. So what I do with my lamb, I like to baste it at the last minute. So right now I'm at like 104, 105. This is a good time to put the sauce on it. What I have for sauce, I took some shallots, some garlic, let that saute in some butter, added some red wine, rosemary sprig, let that keep going. With the red wine, it starts thickening it up at that point. Add a little bit of your favorite barbecue sauce, a shot of lemon, a little bit of honey, and that's what I got here. And you just want to kind of baste that in there. You don't want to rub into it to where it's knocking off that lemon pepper seasoning, because you want that to stand out as well. So I'm just kind of dousing that on the top part of the meat so it can finish its cook and bake into that meat at the same time. We got about another 10 minutes. And again, this is why I like cooking on the indirect side of heat, because you can actually control it a lot better. So let that go for about 10 minutes. Finished temperature I'm looking for is 125 to 130. I'll take that off, let it rest, and we'll see how it looks. Woo! Look at these lamb racks. So they're like jello. I took them off at 125, had them rest for about 10 minutes. So they're nice, medium rare. We're gonna cut right into these suckers right here. I got some nice glaze. And again, you wanna cook it to about medium rare. It's perfect here. I love it. So take a nice little bite, like butter in your mouth. With the sauce, I taste the red wine, the shallots, the garlic, the flavor of the smoker. Look at the juice just dripping down off of this. This is not like the lamb my daddy made me eat, mutton. Enjoy.